my professor suggested that I study, to get a handle on urban design, I should go to the Netherlands. I was dying to go to Europe and study, and they said, well, since you're of Dutch heritage and you probably want to look for your roots, they suggested the Netherlands was the place. And a couple of, I think Bill Johnson and Stan Sherman had recently come back from Holland, and they decided, they thought that I should go to the Netherlands. It was a perfect place. It was central to all of Europe, and they'd been planning and doing urban design since the Middle Ages, and there were great professors there I could study with, and the University of Delft was certainly one of the great universities in the world. It's considered the MIT of the Netherlands, and of course it's a fabulous historic city, beautiful, and so that's where I went. Now, I was married just before to a fellow student, Linda Noordijk, and so off we went. Linda got a job in an architecture firm. She was an architect. She got in a very large architecture firm in Delft, and I went to school every day and studied with Professor Van Eesteren and Professor Froger and Professor Jan Bijhouwer. Bijhouwer was the landscape architecture professor, and he loved America. He had been married to his wife died in the war, but he had been married to an American, and he loved Americans, and he taught at Brown and at Harvard and at Cooper Union in his career, and he's considered the most important landscape architect of the century, of the 20th century, in the Netherlands. His theory was that you just planted a garden just solid with plants, like a meadow, and then wherever people walked, you created paths. But you didn't design the paths until they walked through it and showed you where the path should be. And he had a wonderful garden at his house, which was all American native plants that he had brought over from Holland, from the United States on his various lecturing tours. He became, as I say, a mentor, and suggested when it was time to go back that I definitely had to go back, because he thought the Netherlands was a very bourgeois, small place, and that it was much better to go back to a big country like the United States with many climates and many kinds of people and cultures. And he was right. I was so glad that he and Professor Van Eesteren told me to return. While we were there, we traveled constantly. We went to all these wonderful cities like Gouda and Haarlem, and studied the urban design, the paving, and we also looked at paintings in all of the museums, because if you look at the floors in a Vermeer painting, they're just incredible, and I've used their design in terraces. Also, the proportions of these squares are important, and I was interested in studying the proportion of the the urban spaces of the Netherlands. They were, of course, small by American standards, but they could be applied to even residential scale. Materials were very important, very beautiful. Then we traveled all over Europe. We went to Paris, we went to France, we took an 8-month tour at the end to Italy, Yugoslavia, and Egypt, Greece and Egypt. And after that, we went back home, which was 3.5 years later. But we had done the tour, and I was very serious. I remember we really did our research, and we wanted to see everything. We were driving a Volkswagen that we bought, and we were determined to see everything we could.